you can't compromise. You can't compromise on the core values, the mission, and the vision that you've agreed upon as a team. Hello, and welcome to Enter the Nebula, episode 16. My name's Mike Ergo, and this week we're going to talk about culture, specifically how to establish a new culture, whether you've taken over an existing team or you're establishing a completely new team within your organization, or even more fun, if you're starting a new company or organization yourself. Culture is so important to whether you can be successful or not. And truthfully, there are a lot of different nuances that come with it. This episode is specifically going to focus on establishing your culture. And so that means if you're either taking over a new team or establishing a new team within a larger organization or company, we're not going to talk about how your culture fits into that company and all those types of things. We're going to focus on just your team and your culture at whatever level you're at. And having done this in both business, technology, and athletics, I think it's important that we have a rubric or template that can work agnostic of where you are. Doesn't matter what industry you're in. I think by following these steps, I have found success, and you in turn will find success. Of course, there's always freedom within a framework, right? So this is going to be a very general type look at how to establish a culture and some steps that I think will really ring true and you may find valuable. Step one, it starts with you. As a leader, establishing a culture, it starts and begins with you. The eyes are on you. People are looking at what you're doing, how you're going to react. I've experienced this before, and nothing is more daunting than taking over a new team. A team that had a previous leader, a team that may have had a previous culture, whether it was good or bad, and you're walking into a room introducing yourself as, hey, I'm the new leader here, and everybody's looking to see, what are you going to do? What are your values going to be? How are you going to operate? And they say, right, it's cliche, that there's nothing can take away a first impression. It's very important, I think, to start with, I'm not here to boil the ocean. Uh, and many leaders will do that, right? You have a takeover a team, you want to assert things that are meaningful to you. I think the second step there is take some time to observe. Take some time to learn from existing team members. Again, especially if you're taking over an existing team, but even if you are starting a new team and you're looking, usually you have one or two folks that you're starting with. What do they think? How do they operate? What do they value? That way, you're not coming up with something in a silo. And another cliche, but one that really rings true: people will buy into a ship that they help build. And by asking some questions and letting people know that you're not going to come in and dictate a culture to them, you're automatically gaining some buy-in. Next, you really got to put pen to paper. You have to start thinking of, what are those core values? There are lots of different thoughts around this. I believe that 4 to 6 max is really what you want to focus on, because you want to create these core values with your team or with your organization and not put them in a closet, but they should be at the forefront of what you do. I worked with a supervisor for a number of years whose number one core value was dignity and respect. He always said, we treat people with dignity and respect, and we expect to be treated with dignity and respect. In those years that I worked for this supervisor, not once did I ever see him stumble or fall or undress an employee, figuratively, of course, in front of the team. He really embodied that core value, and I thought that that was really cool. So when you think of these core values, again, you're not want more than 4 to 6, because you want to make sure as a leader, starts and stops with you. So are you able to embody that core value to the team? The next step you're going to want is to make sure that you've gained buy-in from your team. And the way I've done that in the past is, when you roll out these core values, You're rolling them out not as a, hey, here are our core values, but more of, hey, here are the core values that I have come up with based on my observations and conversations that we've had as a team. What do you guys think? And what do you think our mission and vision statement should be? And by creating a mission and vision statement together as a team, you're going to start to create buy in. Again, that mission and vision statement should not be put in a closet. It should be revisited. It should be thought of. It should be tactical too, where you're setting some sort of goal that you can achieve long term as a team. And that creates, again, that sense of buy-in, that sense of building that ship together, because it's going to be what holds you together during the hard times. Hey, remember, guys and gals, our vision is X. Hey, remember, our number one core value is respect, or communication, whatever the buzzword is that you choose. You want to make sure that there's some tangible meat behind it. And then the last step really is you can't compromise. You can't compromise on the core values, the mission, and the vision that you've agreed upon as a team. You want to make sure that even if there is a misstep, it doesn't go unaddressed. If you're the one as a leader who maybe you got emotionally hijacked during a meeting, or maybe you forgot to share something with the team so it looks like you weren't communicating effectively, you got to own it. You got to own it, and you got to hold yourself accountable. And then it's your job as a leader to hold others accountable. Ideally, you're also creating an environment where they can hold themselves accountable too. And they can, hey, hand up, I missed there. And we're going to make up for it. And we're not going to have it happen again. Because I think it's also important that while we don't compromise, we don't execute people when they mess up. It's okay to make mistakes. You want to assume positive intent, but you also want to make sure it doesn't become a habit. And I think by doing these things and committing to them and really showing that you, as the leader, believe in them, you're going to find that the culture you want to create is going to resonate with your team, and they're going to be able to execute and evangelize some of that culture to other teams as well. Thank you for listening to this week's episode. Again, I'm Mike Ergo. If you'd like to read the full article, please visit my website, intellectualnebula.com, where you can also schedule a meeting, as I'm still looking for the right full-time opportunity in my career. Don't forget to like and subscribe, especially on YouTube, as it helps me continue to grow my brand and audience. And I'll see you next time.